Hi there. In preparation for our upcoming 2023 Mining Summit, I've compiled some nuggets from last year's Mining Summit. This segment is a short excerpt from Kevin Holcomb's 2022 presentation on LoRaWAN. He'll be back again for this year's summit to give us an update. To register for this year's summit, go to cs.co/mining23. Here's Kevin.
All right, so I'm Kevin Holcomb, a technical marketing engineer in our IoT group, focusing on LoRaWAN and on industrial asset vision. So we'll do a couple of kind of short pieces today. First is what is LoRaWAN, right? We'll go over what it is, then we'll talk about how it can be used in a mining environment, and then we'll talk about what Cisco has to offer for those. So what is LoRaWAN? It operates in the unlicensed spectrum. Right, so in North America, it'd be like a 900 megahertz ISM band. Some other parts of the world, it's 800. All right, but it's the unlicensed ISM bands. You get really long coverage, right? So we're talking 15 kilometers in rural environments. You know, maybe you get maybe 5 in a more urban type environment with a lot of obstructions. It's for low data rate, so you get this really long battery life. You know, up to 10 years. On some sensors, you know, the 10-year battery life, but it's also, you get the long distance, but the trade-off is the data rate, right? So it's perfect for things like I want to send a tank level every hour, or in a smart city application, is a car parked here or not, right? I'm going to send that every once in a while. It's not for things like streaming video or for anything like that, right? You're going to get really little pieces of information at, you know, little infrequent intervals. But that data can be very important, even though it's, you know, really low in bit rate. Okay, so now let's dive down a little deeper, like what the architecture would look like for LoRaWAN. So on the left side of the diagram, we have sensors, right? These would be your sensing devices, and then we have the gateways. So Cisco sells gateways as well, and the way it works, that you have something called a network server that's there. That's kind of like the brain behind the operation, right? It would be analogous maybe to a WLC for Wi-Fi or for call manager for collaboration. So you have the network server there. The network server is the one he's going to receive all these messages. So when a sensor sends a message, any gateway that's around that can hear that message will actually receive it and will pass it upstream to the network server. The network server decides, you know, I just saw this message 2 other times. I received it from some other gateway, so I'm going to drop the duplicates. I'm going to keep one of them. Right, so the network server does that. The network server, the join server specifically, it handles who's allowed to get on the network. Encryption keys, you know, for session keys, so that the data can be encrypted over the air between the LoRaWAN device and the network server. So that's network server, that's the brain of the operation, and then it's going to forward information up to an application server. An application server would be where you'd actually visualize the data, do ML, do alerting, anything like that. That's where you actually make use of the data. And there's 2 levels of encryption. So your data is safe, right? There's one layer of encryption from the sensor up to the network server that handles all the overhead of making the LoRaWAN work, making the network work. And then there's also another layer of encryption between the sensor and the application. Okay, so places where this could be useful in a mining environment. This is a company that we've been working with on the sensor side, PieGo, and they've got these little sensors that go on the trailing cable. And you can map where they're located, and I'll show you that on the next slide. But you can map where they are, try to avoid damage to those, right? Keep them from getting run over and things like that. And you can get that data now. You can visualize it. You know, on a map, you can see where everything's at. So that's one important application for mining. Other ones would be things like asset tracking. Right, I want to know maybe every 15 minutes or however often I want to get an update about where a piece of equipment is located. Now, it's not going to be real time in that case, right? Because with LoRaWAN, you can't send all the time. You'll run the battery down, but little pieces of information every once in a while, right? So where is this asset located? let's say the tank level. You can monitor tank levels, air quality, if you need to measure air quality out in remote areas. All of those kinds of things are definitely possible with LoRaWAN as a technology.
That was Kevin Holcomb, who will be back at the 2023 Summit to tell us more about LoRaWAN use cases for mining. To register for the 2023 Summit, go to cs.co/mining23. And if you'd like to watch the rest of Kevin's presentation from last year, check out this video. Take care.